Folks, Friday, August the 25th. Jeff, I got to admit, it doesn't feel like summertime. It actually feels like Christmas Eve is about to take place. Football season right on the brink in less than 24 hours away. I'll be your host today, Donnie Rightside, with my partner in crime, Jeff Nadu, the big man on campus. As usual, a nice Friday show. We got a nice hour to sit back and maybe look through some Major League Baseball lines. A huge fight tomorrow night. Football's in the works. Jeff, what a time to be alive.
Yep, a lot going on, Donnie. The big weekend, fight weekend's here. The big fight tomorrow between Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather upon us. Baseball going on. Football starts tomorrow. NFL's in a week or two. A lot going on.
A great time. I mean, we've been having conversations, doing preview shows. I know you're going to kick off tomorrow with Pete, your college football show, which is going to be great. It's that time of the year to flip the page, and it's a shame that I'm 6 feet under right now this week, it seems, with my bookie. But hopefully we can, dig it back out, get a new grave site, a new plot picked out, and get ready to go because baseball has not treated me kind this week, big man.
It happens, man. I mean, we've had I've had 0 in 6 weeks, 1 in 7. Yeah, it happens. I mean, what are you going to do? You got to keep moving. Maybe that's signifying to you, Donnie, right? It's time to give up on baseball for the year.
Yeah, I still think there's some money left to be left over there. I hate to turn it on a downside, but sometimes when the cards aren't in your favor. I mean, just take yesterday, for instance. I had a beautiful line in the Pirates game, Jeff. Plus 140 in the first 5 innings. The line crashes all the way down. And again, doesn't mean anything unless you win the wager. Curtis Granderson, a 2-out solo shot in the 4th inning, puts me down on that one. So instead of going with my instincts at night and saying, you know what, there's some really good, flags I like to take a look at tonight. But from that afternoon battles, the public was just running rough shots. I said, you know what? I'm going to take a step back here. I'm going to go with 2 square type plays, which I looked at all afternoon. And how about Sal Romano and Martin Perez going 14 innings combined, 2 earned runs when I'm trying to get a team total worked out? It's unbelievable yesterday, man.
Gotta love that, right? Martin Perez all of a sudden's Babe Ruth or Babe Ruth pitched, didn't he?
Exactly. All rolled into one out there.
It's amazing, man. Scribner and Martin Perez threw gems. What a surprise, right? Oh, by the way, last night also I had Twins first 5 minus a half, and Derek Holland all of a sudden top cop as well. So it's amazing. What are you gonna do?
No, I'm just trying to. I don't see a live link that actually got tweeted out for SBR, so I just pulled out one myself there. If you want to retweet that around, we'll get this party jumping and going here. But yeah, a lot to look forward. Last night, took the wife as one of my last rendezvous out to the Eagles game last night. Looking at the game itself, Jeff, this is what I just want to get back to.
Yeah.
Whether or not you won money or not on the Philadelphia Eagles football game, coming into the game, Jeff, what are we looking at? Oh, finally.
Yeah,
Starter's going to play. Yeah. Starter's going to play right into the third quarter. It's going to be fantastic. So if you're capping based on that information, you would say, you know what? Maybe the Eagles are a good play here. I expect them to play well. How about you're sitting on an Eagles ticket last night, and in the first drive of the second quarter, both of your first-string offense and defense are out, and Miami decides to play their first-string offense and first-string defense right through to the end of the half. So you're saying, hey, there's no way I'm going to win my Eagles bet now. It's out the window. If you're a Dolphins backer, boy, did I just luck out. Let's fast forward to the end of the game. The Eagles still won and covered the game. How can you bet preseason football? Just flip. Are we flipping a coin? I me's the only way, right?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand how people do it. It's really a toss up. I mean, it's the one thing. It's one of the couple things where people just don't care. I mean, people have said to me, how could you bet on 3-on-3 basketball with over-the-hill players that have been out of the league for 5 years? But they care. There's a lot of – they actually want to be there. They actually want to take part in it. They're doing it for a reason. NFLers don't want to play preseason. They don't care about preseason. They have no interest in preseason. They want it shortened. So, I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people, can try to tell me and sell me there's an edge. To me, if you bet preseason, I think you're I'm not going to call you a name, but again, I'll just say I don't do it.
It was just. It's everything that goes against traditional beliefs. That if you're a capper, I don't even care what you're looking at, lines or whatever it is. You have to have some semblance of what's going to take place. Can you imagine, Jeff? If let's just pick a game out tonight, and
I will say this, Donnie, real quick about tonight.
Yeah,
I think if you're looking at totals, I could understand maybe betting the preseason. Like tonight, I know, like I've seen a lot of people with the take on this Chiefs Seahawks game. I could see a situation where the over would make sense. I mean, you have two quarterbacks, obviously, Russell Wilson and Alex Smith, who can move the football. You have two backups that can move the football. I think I could understand where betting overs. Like last night, we thought Wentz was going to go 2.5, 3 quarters. Henny or not Henny, Cutler's Cutler and more capable. So again, I understand like totals, I guess you could say, but I can't say I understand how you bet sides. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to say today, you have Washington, Cole versus DeGrom. Imagine if they told you before the game, the Mets were like, man, DeGrom looks as strong as he has looked all year long. We look forward to a great outing. And in the second inning, they pulled him out saying, well, we really want to limit his innings. That's what betting preseason football is. Like, you can't quantify who's going to be in the game. Right? So how do you quantify what the final outcome of the score is going to be?
Yeah, and I mean, there's once in a while there's a coach that, you can say, well, he cares about this or whatever, but look,
is the coach playing the game? What did I miss?
Exactly. I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah, right. I mean, it doesn't matter that every coach wants to win. Every coach is going to come out and say, like, we're winning this. We're going to try to win this football game or whatever. They might not show you a lot of things, but it's all about the players. I mean, a lot of these players, again, but we also have to keep in mind at the end of the day, second and third stringers are rooting to get their job. So they clearly care. But I'm not trying to guess on who cares and who doesn't care. One thing I know last night, Carson Wentz looked very good. Yeah. I thought the first team offense looked very good. Again, running back is a little bit of a question mark here, but again, I think they'll figure that out. We have to remember Doug Peterson not exactly throwing out much. I thought the receivers looked good. Torrey Smith did what we know he can do, catch a long pass for a touchdown. Guys like Alshon Jeffrey got involved. Jeffrey had 2 very nice catches, 1 a touchdown. I thought the depth at wide receiver is obviously a big plus. A lot of guys there that can catch the football. But the tight ends are good. Defensively, look, there were some issues. I mean, Ronald Darby looked great in the first preseason game. Last night he didn't look particularly good. Look, question marks in the secondary are abound for sure. Do they have depth at linebacker? I don't want to see Najee Good anywhere near the field. But
Najee's a vet, Jeff. Najee's a vet. You can't take that away from him. He's a vet.
Well, good for him. But being a veteran special teams player and a starting linebacker, a little different. But yeah, look, I don't put a ton of stock. Again, I want to see certain things, but overall, they're not showing us much. So from what I saw from Carson, I was pretty pumped up.
Yeah, I mean, all you want to see is the quarterback develop. You want to see a couple touchdowns. You want to see no injuries out there. Could have been better from the offensive line perspective there. Absolutely. They couldn't pick up blitzes. But again, it's a vanilla scheme. You saw Wendell Smallwood, who actually had a couple nice runs on a blitz, couldn't pick anybody up. Not that he didn't know the right guy to hit, but when he's stepping up to try to pick up a blitz, they're going to run right through him. So that could be an issue, but I'm sure they'll work that all out. But very positive thoughts from me on the Eagles moving into the season, as opposed to a couple weeks ago. So I like where they're going.
Yeah, Austin, guys, how involved do you think Sproles will be? Look, I mean, he's not going to be running the football much. I mean, he's going to catch passes out of the backfield.
He'll get 15 total touches a game, Sproles, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to return punts, shit like that.
Including that, yes, correct.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, he's not going to be a feature back, which we all know. The run game is interesting. I mean, who's your running back? I mean, who's your number one guy? Is it Smallwood, who looked decent at times? Can he stay healthy? Do you keep Clement? Is Pumphrey a guy that is going to open up at some point? I don't want to continue to, again, it's very early. We'll see. Yeah, let's I guess I have to talk about baseball at some point. So
we got a full baseball card that we can run over and hit, and we'll get to a lot of that stuff. But before we even hit the baseball card, Jeff, while we're just going over like topics of the day, I know you want to get a little bit of shine tomorrow on your new show there with Pete, which is going to be awesome. It's going to take you right on through to the bowl games every Saturday, 1 hour show. Jeff, talk a little bit of that, what the people can anticipate for themselves tomorrow when tuning into the show with you and Pete out there.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's basically going to be akin to what we've done in the past. I know, Donnie, you were on the Saturday sit down. You've done it throughout baseball. It's really going to be kind of a little bit earlier, but it's going to be destined and dedicated to college football. We're going to pick out a couple games a week that we both like, take a lot of questions, just kind of break down the card. Obviously, this week it's going to be just breaking down the games on Saturday, which there are a couple. And listen, we've talked ad nauseum about a lot of these games. I mean, I feel like I've talked about Hawaii UMass like 60,000 times, and it's interesting because my opinions have changed a little bit on that game. But, overall, we'll break down those games. Looking forward to chatting more, next week about the big card. And we'll have to figure it out because I know there's some games on Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So we'll figure that all out. But as far as that, looking forward to it. For many that don't know, Peter was the first person I did videos with at SBR. Donnie, we would pick 4 games a week, and we would just break them down. So I'm looking forward to that. Peter's a guy that I've done videos with for a long time, so should be fun. We'll have some good things going there. So
no, and also I know a lot of people reached out as well, Jeff, saying, "Hey, Donnie, why aren't you going to be on Saturday with Jeff? What's going on? Is there a rift?" There's not a rift. Me and Jeff are actually going to be on Monday through Friday, afternoon 12:30 to 1 o'clock every day. No breaks, no Thursdays off, no nothing. Just going to be me and the big man breaking down stuff. And also, I'm going to be on a Sunday show. It's going to start Sunday morning, another hour show. It's going to be me and Gabe Morency taking you right through the NFL. We're also going to appear, Gabe and myself, at the halftime of the first game in NFL to talk some opening lines, maybe on the 4 o'clock games, and also some second half wagers and what went wrong in those first half of games. But, the crown jewel, Jeff, we're going to reunite on Sunday night before the Sunday night game. We'll talk a little bit about what happened previous in the day, how everything wrapped up, but also a preview show to cap that night's game and send you off into the new week as well. So a lot of fun stuff is going to be planned with SBR, and we're looking forward to it here in the fall, Jeff.
Yeah. I am, and I know, we're going to be doing some of our own things, but overall, I mean, we're going to be on Monday through Friday with the right side of campus, which we've been really kind of looking to do, and we still have another month or so of baseball playoffs, and we have a lot going on, so it'll be fun. I mean, we'll be doing kind of some things together still Sunday night, so yeah, looking forward to doing Monday to Friday with you, and yeah, it'll be fun. I'll be honest, Donnie. I'll tell you one thing I'm looking forward to is I think the one thing about sports that I've always enjoyed along the lines of my life in general, I like to be involved with things a lot of the time that other people aren't involved in. Mm-hmm. Like soccer is kind of a niche sport in America, and we can argue that it isn't, and there are a lot of people that like it. But I feel like in my group of friends that I have, and even with you, like you don't follow it. So it's like for me, it's like my thing. Yep. I love like underground rap that no one listens to. I love trance music that no one listens to but me, and for me, like boxing is kind of that thing. It's like, I love it. It's kind of down home to me. I have my group of Puerto Ricans that like it and a couple of my other friends, but overall, most of the public doesn't like boxing. And I hate when these fights happen because it really makes a spectacle out of what we're enjoying and doing. And I'm ready for this to be over. I really am. I'm sick of hearing about it. I'm sick of talking about it. I'm ready for it to move on.
Yeah, big night. I mean, I have a lot of people coming over the house. We're just going to sit back, relax, and watch the fight, take it in. It's going to be, college football games during the day. The wife game
Donnie,
to relax. Fantastic.
That's what the true shame of the matter is. You who don't, you mentioned it before. You don't like boxing. A lot of people don't. But
no, I grew up in a generation, because the funny thing, Jeff, is I actually really used to like boxing. I mean, when I was in college, you have the Roy Jones Juniors of the world. You had a heavyweight division that was jam-packed in, and then it sort of died off, which, and went away along with me. The Klitschko's had like 15 straight years of fighting nobody out there. But the one thing I'll give you credit for, if the heavyweight division does come back, I probably saw in the springtime the best heavyweight fight I've seen maybe in 25 years. With the last Klitschko fight that he had. Who was the big heavyweight? He was the British guy?
Anthony Joshua.
Who was the big heavyweight? Yeah, I mean, that was an awesome fight. I had such a good time. One of those fights where I generally enjoyed watching it. So hopefully that makes a comeback. But yeah, back in the day, I used to love to watch it. Cooled off on it, though.
Why are we having the same love affair with, like, Gennady Golovkin and Triple G? Triple G and Canelo, I'm sorry. I repeated the same two. But why are we having – because that's going to be arguably the better fight. I mean, that's going to be
you're right. I actually think, Jeff, the hype would have been off the charts if this Floyd Mayweather-McGregor fight wasn't even here, because everybody would be – all the attention would be focused on that, because that's going to be a sensational fight by all accounts. Now, usually in the past, when we get fights like that, we're a little bit disappointed. Manny Pacquiao, Floyd, anytime – like it seems like anytime Floyd's involved with anything, it doesn't turn out to be as lively or as great as it should. But these two fighters should be able to go toe-to-toe and give a nice boxing clinic, and everybody should come away happy. So I am looking forward to that, and I'll certainly be watching that fight as well.
Yeah, one thing I do want to point out before we get into the card, as far as someone mentioned about they don't like the college football season starting early like it is this year. I actually agree with that. I don't. I'm not going to say I don't like it because I love every college football game, but I kind of enjoy like the first week of football starting Labor Day. Kind of it's the whole weekend. Again, I don't like seeing teams have to fly to Sydney, Australia, and
I
go
don't
all
like
over
that.
the.
You're right about that. But I guess just being a football junkie, like give it to me now because we haven't had it in so long. And again, the card isn't very good, but then again, it is football. But I'm with you, Jeff. Early 2000s. I mean, when back when Miami was somebody, it would be Miami and Florida State on Labor Day night, and I used to lose my mind and absolutely love it. So hopefully we get back to something like that. I agree.
It's pretty much like the state we are with bowl games, where there's 50 bowl games, and many of which the team like there should not be a 5-7 team in a bowl game. None. There shouldn't be any. You should have to have a winning record and you at least have 6 wins. And we should not be rewarding people. Again, I think it's very honorable that you do well in college. That's great, but this is a sport. We're not worried about. Again, we're worried about it, but we're not. On the field should be where you should have to prove it, not because you do good in the school, so you should be able to go to a bowl game. I mean, this isn't vacation hour. This is sports, and the best team should be there.
And Jeff, by the way, getting back to a little bit of college football notes here, Dabo Swinney gets the big time extension, and it's literally when you see like around retweeted it, Darren Ravel, other major outlets tweet it, and the one thing that I always love is I want to go into the mentions and I say, look at all that money Dabo's making, but yet the football players aren't getting paid. Your thoughts?
Well, look, I mean, we've had this conversation before. They are getting paid. They're getting paid in another way. If I was to go to college right now, in 4 years when I get out, I'd have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in debt. If I went to be a college to be a doctor, I would have hundreds of thousands of dollars. The one caveat between me and them is they get to go to school for free, and I don't. And that's where I can say. And we had this conversation when that kid from UCF was doing that YouTube channel and wouldn't take it down and whatever. If you don't like it, don't do it. If you don't want to not get paid, go get a job after your class and be a student. No one's asking you to do this. No one's saying you have to do this. If you don't like it, don't do it. Dabo Swinney is a top 3 coach in football, and he should be paid like it.
It's funny bringing it up because we have this conversation a lot. And I always like to take it to the extreme on one end to try to win an argument because I'm on the firm believer as you. I struggled my way through college and was saddled with debt. And thank God I didn't go, even 20 years later, which the debt would have been 3 to 4 times as high. But I played because I loved the game. And again, I wasn't good enough to get a scholarship. Let's be honest. 5'11" wideout that wasn't very fast, playing in a wing T offense in high school is not going to get that many looks. Worked my way, played very well in college, had a great time, but still left with a lot of debt. And that's a whole nother thing. But the one argument I always like to use, and I say, you know what? Schools and they get all this money, and why does the coach get the money and the players don't get the money? I always break it down. I say, well, you know what? I went to high school. My high school's, taxpayer funded. The teachers got paid. How come I didn't get paid as being a student there? Like, why we're like they're teaching, I'm learning. We're there the same time, and I'm there often more times. Why as a student was I not getting paid?
Well, I mean, you could make the case of why did your parents get paid and you didn't? I mean,
it's exactly. It's
the same because that's not how it works. That's just how it doesn't. This is how the world works. But we can make the case that if football players and basketball players get paid, why don't women's water polo get paid, or why doesn't men's volleyball get paid? If you're going to pay one or two, you have to pay all of them, and that's where I commend the NCAA for saying, you know what, we're not going down that road. If you don't like it, don't do it. And if you really want to make money, be good enough, put the time in, put the work in, and go be
Everybody hates that argument, Jeff. Why do most people hate, like, I wouldn't say most people, but why do people hate the argument when you always can say, it's like, it's not a draft. It's not like you're going to World War II and you have to go. You don't have a choice when you get drafted. A team can come to your house from out. Nick Saban can sit in your living room and say, son, I want you to play football with me on a full athletic scholarship. You can tell Nick to go pound sand. He can't legally draft you there.
Right. It's a slippery slope, but I mean, we all go back to that kid that didn't like the rules. So he made it a point to continue to break them and just really thumb his nose at the NCAA and say, I'm going to do what I want. And then I'm going to bitch and whine when you actually make the decision to kick me out. He was clearly told the rules. He didn't follow them. And now he has to cry on everyone's shoulders because he got kicked out of the NCAA. Don't do it if you don't want to get kicked out. Go be a YouTube sensation on your own. Again, if you're so worried about college, why aren't you following the rules? If you're so worried about losing your scholarship, why are you doing stuff that break the rules? Follow the rules and you won't have a problem.
Yep, just get the booster handshakes for a couple $100 here and there, and you make it through college, man. Come on, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
All right, let's get back to the baseball card here, Jeff. Full slate of action. I know everybody's chomping at the bit out there to see what we're going to be able to break down in some of these games. There are some decent games to actually look at. Whether or not they go by the numbers and the lines that we have and they win hasn't seemed to work out for me this week. But again, baseball's a long season. I'm still actually up on the season, even though, Jeff, it feels like I lost my house based on just this week alone, down over 8 units. Just over 8 units, Jeff. How's that possible?
Not sure. I mean, you just aren't winning, I guess. I mean, listen, I mean, we've all had bad. I remember I started February. I think I was like 2-13, I think. And I ended up having a winning month. So, yeah, look, I mean, it happens. I mean, maybe you shouldn't document. That way no one would know. I mean. Yeah,
that is true. If I could, is it, what do they call it, like acid washing the computer? Or like I can go on the internet and pay like a company just to change every single record out there?
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, you could, I mean, look, Donnie, I think we all know. I mean, look, we're going to take lumps. It's part of the game. I mean, everyone loses. It's part of life. But, hey, I mean, dust your shoulders off and win today.
Absolutely, man. Let's get back to the card, Jeff. 8:25 today. August the 25th, Jeff. It's almost September. Beautiful day. I don't know how it is down the shore. It's about 80 degrees, low humidity where I'm at, so I'm ready to get it going, buddy. What's up?
You're going to have to pawn your mic, they're saying. Your big mic.
I am going to have to pawn my mic. If you notice, Jeff, I can't even afford Monsters anymore. I have one left. Yeah, that's how low it's been in my house, man.
Yeah, from what I heard, you're not going to the shore now. You have to like go to some campground or something. I heard.
Yeah, no, I can't take the expressway. I got to take the Black Horse Pike down. I got to save money.
Yeah, I heard you're taking a horse and buggy now. You can't afford to drive down there. I heard.
I can't even get McDonald's. You're right, man. You're right. All right, Jeff. What do you say? Baseball card here. We'll rip right through it.
I guess. I mean, if I had my choice, I wouldn't do it. But we don't have a choice. So
we have no choice. We're under contract. It is what it is. 9:51, 9:52 to get it started today. The New York Mets taking their show on the road down to Washington. DeGrom versus Cole here today. 60% are actually backing the home team here. The Washington Nationals opened up as a -127 favorite for DeGrom. Actually has carried a little bit of weight here, Jeff. Chris is now showing 137. Pinnacle 134. Bet Online 135. You wager 133. So a little bit of action moving northward here based on DeGrom, even though he's not getting the full majority of the public backing. Road games for the Mets bullpen, Jeff. 5.33 ERA. Washington's bullpen at home, 4.14. Overall, Washington's bullpen, Jeff, 4.82. We thought they probably shored it up a little bit, but hasn't been that case lately there. DeGrom on the season, Jeff, on the road, 13 starts, a 4.07 ERA. With Cole at home, through 2 starts, a 5.73 ERA. If we take a look at his last 3 starts combined, which are his only 3 starts in the month of August, Jeff, 5 innings, 5 earned runs. 5 innings, 4 earned runs. 6 innings, 3 earned runs. So he's destined to give up some runs. The only question is, Jeff, who the hell is in that Mets lineup that's going to put up runs?
Yeah, that's the question. I mean, at this point, who is going to score runs? And you imagine being Yoenis Cespedes at this point. I mean, he has no team around him. I mean, we all know he's a pretty flamboyant guy. Doesn't really mind speaking his mind. I mean, imagine being him at this point. Just has to really got to take it and lose. Both these lineups, though, are struggling right now. I mean, DeGrom is, overall pitched well this year, but he's struggling as well. Really, everyone in this game is struggling. I don't want to get on Cole. DeGrom, I do love, but he has struggled. I got to tell you, I think he'll get it figured out here, but I don't want to bet the Mets. I kind of like the under 8. I don't ever anymore, especially with Conforto out now. I don't trust this lineup at all to hit on a regular basis. Cole, I think, will be okay. I kind of like the under here.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing to take a look at. You're looking at what maybe opened up at 8, sitting at 8 across the board, seeing what lineups come out. Because, again, it doesn't all boil down to, I mean, DeGrom can go out and have 7, 8 innings and pitch very well. But it all gets back to the point of the Mets offense. I mean, you lose Conforto yesterday, as you talked about. Now you just have Cespedes in the lineup and nobody. You have Cespedes and nobody in that lineup.
No, I know. I mean, now that, like I said, now that Conforto's out, you're just Brandon Nemo and just guys that have no business up at this level.
Nimmo, you got the young shortstop out there, Flores, Lagares. I mean, there is
Complete
absolutely
bombs.
nothing in that lineup. You're right.
Yeah, BMOC, did someone break into your house? No. Which, if you were on the show last night, they did with Drew. My parents came down last night, so they'll be here, I think, I think they're leaving Saturday. So, yeah, they're here. They're going to the beach. So, it's funny, Donnie. There's 24 hours in a day. And wouldn't you know, they pick the 10 or so minutes where we begin the show to make food and do all their things. So, um, they're going to the beach. So they're out of my hair now.
Yeah, it is what it is. 9:53, 9:54, Jeff. The Chicago Cubs last night, who let me down, who couldn't hit Sal Romano and help me out. There was a key moment in that game where I believe Jason Hayward was at the plate. 2 runs were already across and 2 outs, men on second and third. Hayward gets a single there. You never know what happens, and we could take down a team total. But the only good thing about it is when you're losing units, at least they're not heavy losses like minus 220, minus 80, minus 180, minus 160. At least that was a plus 100 loss. But again, it was awful just based on the stats alone. It should have came in, but obviously it didn't. I did a little bit of research in that as well before the game, just checking out Reds games recently. 6 games, the Chicago Cubs versus the Reds. They averaged 7.33 runs per game. And of course, yesterday can't hit. Not only can't hit, they actually lost the game outright, so they'll get back today. Flying into Philadelphia here, Jeff, with Quintana on the mound versus Eichhoff. About 2,000 tickets tracked in this one. 84%, Jeff, backing the road team here. Cubs, only 54% of the money. However, that line opened up at Chris at minus 180, Jeff, up to minus 195. Minus 195 at Pinnacle, minus 200 at Bet Online, and minus 195 at UWage. You're taking a look at some statistics there. Road starts for Quintana on the year through 13 of them, a 3.63 ERA. Eichhoff actually has gotten better, Jeff, over the past couple starts. At home, a little bit shaky, a 4 ERA through 10 starts, but his last 3 starts combined, a 3.86 ERA. If you take a look at what he's done and who he's pitched against, that's going to be key, Jeff. At San Diego, at San Francisco, 2 pitchers' ballparks there where he pitched okay. About 5 innings, 4 earned runs last time out. 5 innings, 1 earned run versus San Diego. So take that a little bit of a grain of salt. It's a different type of hitting team going to come in here tonight with the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, Phillies are tough to gauge. I mean, someday they go on these 3 or 4 game stretches where they score a ton of runs, but they're just tough to figure out. Who wants to bet on Jared Eichhoff? Who wants to bet on some of these guys are throwing out there? Cubs have won 5 of 6. I know last night they struggled for you, weren't able to get the job done, but overall they have been raking the baseball, and that's what sucks about their play last night. They've been crushing the ball until you bet them, of course. Quintana's been up and down. He's been really inconsistent all year. And Eichhoff's been a total fade. I got to be honest, I kind of like the over in this game. I think the Cubs will be able to hit Eichhoff. But, Donnie, I've said it before, I'm skeptical to ever back them against right-handers. They're very good against lefties, but I don't know that I can take them against a righty. But overall, over looks pretty decent here at 8.5. BMOC, who's the best baseball handicapper? Opinion. Me? I don't know.
Jeff, why not? Say yourself.
The best, I'll tell you what, good baseball handicappers that I would trust. I'll be honest, I don't really back no one in this business. I think they're all scumbag assholes. But the people at SBR I do validate and trust. There's not a lot. I mean, a lot of the guys that I know that I've known for a long time, a lot of them don't cap baseball. A lot of them are football and basketball guys. A lot of them take the summer off. I couldn't tell you, man. I mean, Donnie's pretty good. For the most part, he's had a very good year. There's not a lot of good baseball handicappers. You have to really kind of.
There's a lot of variance. There's a lot of. I mean, to get to that point, Jeff, I think you would agree. The variance in baseball makes it tough, where the numbers don't always stick to it. So I guess you could just gauge it by the end of the year. Did you win some money or did you lose some money? Is the way to look. Because, again, anybody technically can get hot and cold in baseball. It's a long view picture of it where you're not just saying – the only thing I like to get on this point as well, anybody can go out there. When you provide a service, you try to find some value. If I was a service and I was just giving you every night the squarest play on the board, anybody can actually do that. So the guys that I like to look at saying like, man, where did that angle come from? Boy, you really hit that one on the head. Not too many people give you back claps for taking, like Chris Sale at home minus 260 versus a tomato can on the mound. Anybody can give that out. I try to look for some independent type pitching situations, independent type hitting situations, and those guys stick up. But again, it's whether you win or lost at the end of the year and did you hold it down. That's what baseball is about. A lot different than football and basketball, yes.
And here's the point also. There's 30 teams, give or take. And you shouldn't need to have anyone tell you how to bet it. I mean, over the year, it's a 162-game sport. You should be able to kind of know something about every team, most of the pitchers. Listen, there's a lot of scams out there. My advice, don't buy picks from anyone unless you have some good people around you. Like Donnie has a good service, and there are guys that are doing good things. And you shouldn't look at a service as they're only giving you picks. They need to give you good information, quality information, kind of be out there and putting themselves out there. It's about information. It's about finding the best information. And there are a lot of people at SBR that do good at that, but you have to look at people's and look at them and say, do they have an ulterior motive here? Are they doing this for another reason? And I think most of the people at Sportsbook Review and a couple others actually care, but it's a watered down business that I wouldn't really recommend anyone in. My advice in baseball, just do your own work. Carve out 30 minutes or so and try to find a winner or two every day and move on.
And Jeff, it's the one sport again that there's not really I like sharps and squares, so to speak, in baseball season a lot more than other ones because you're not dealing in effect with a line, run line. I get all that, but I'm talking just the straight overall game. When you look at like the Patriots versus Kansas City, there's technically a sharp and a square side, but you're dealing with a point spread. So you can break down a lot of things and handicap it in there. And if somebody says, hey, you bet the Patriots this week and you bet, the Giants the next week, I say, hey, that's nice to get on a run. But the ones that I always get a kick out of is like, you bet the Cubs every night or you bet the Dodgers every night or you bet Houston every night. And I don't know. I just figure that if you're paying a service, you want them to actually give you some insight on stuff you might not be looking at as opposed to, hey, we're going to take the Cubs every single night.
And that's one thing I think we do. And that's what I pride myself on doing is trying to find information that maybe you don't know,
yes.
Throwing out how many times a team's won by 2 or more runs at home or just trying to find little things that maybe we haven't looked at. But in baseball, it's tough. And you also have to find out these sabermetric people. I mean, they have ulterior motives as well, Are they just trying to prove their points, or what are they doing? Trust yourself and put in the work. I'm up 66 units in baseball. I find that hard to believe, dude. But again, if you are, good for you. That's great. 30 minutes. BMOC takes me from 6 to 11 a.m. It shouldn't take you 5 hours, dude.
We used to say in football, Jeff, study long, study wrong.
Right. But hey, look, if you're up 66 units, so you're basically up 33 units. Or 30-ish units on the year with Vig. Good for you. You're probably the only person I've seen in baseball in the world that's up that many units. But hey, great, good for you. I prefer sports consultant. That is on a single sport or maximum 2 sports. If you top more than 2, I mean, I only deal college and baseball, and everything else is just kind of for free. I have fun with, but. Look, if you're capping at this point, if you're still capping, I think if you're capping at any point for 4 or 5 hours a day, in with 10 games, you might want to rethink doing what you're doing. Am I the only one who thinks Mayweather and McGregor will touch gloves? Why wouldn't they touch gloves? I mean,
what the best part about this fight is?
We got to stop with this crap.
How many times do we see all the, like, they hate each other, disrespectful, like you saw Floyd's interview yesterday? Yeah. These guys probably talk on the phone every 3 days of how they could promote the fight.
No, I'm going to tell you right now. I
remember all the Tyson fights. Like Tyson was, thanking the Lord after fights that people gave him a shot before he's saying he's going to eat your kids.
Yeah, I think Floyd genuinely doesn't like Conor McGregor. I don't think he does, but I'm also not going to say that I don't think they're in cahoots at some points as well. They've done a fantastic job of promoting this fight and really getting people interested. I've said it before and I'll say it again. When my dad knows about things in sports, it's pretty interesting because my dad's like all about work and that's it. But even him and I were talking about it, and everyone has an opinion. And that's what the books want. Yeah. That's what the fighters want. It's not about who we think's going to win, because at the end of the day, the only people that know what's going to happen I don't buy into this. It's all fixed, and they're gonna, they have no. These people have too much of an ego to do that. Floyd has too much of an ego, and so does Conor. At the end of the day, you're not going to tell them anything. They're going to go in and fight. Could it be a laughable embarrassment? Yes, but that's why they do it. They build it up. It's like anything that comes out. I mean, they make some of these shows on TV look like amazing works of art, and then you watch them and you're like, what the fuck was this? Like, they can make anything look interesting. I mean, it's just theatrics, man. I mean, I'll watch Friday night fights and I'll watch this fight. It doesn't matter who's fighting. I want to see a good fight, but I'm not going into this fight saying I can't wait to watch this fight because of the boxing that's going to go on. Conor's not going to box. Floyd's going to tag him, and that's going to be it.
6 o'clock tonight weigh-in, Jeff. You going to be watching this bad boy?
Oh, of course, yes. Sure. That's part of the theatrics, man. It takes me 5 hours because I have ADD. You should get some help for that.
Anybody out there have a problem? Like I'm assuming a lot of people have the same problem because I sort of have a problem when I need to hold the remote and I need to change channels like repeatedly. Does anybody else have that problem out there?
Yeah, you have ADHD, man. You got to get some help for that. That's why I take medication because I was the same way. Where are we at here? Does anyone? No, dude. No one cares. RJ Bell and Vegas Runner are dumb. Well, I don't mind Vegas Runner, but RJ Bell's a fucking moron. So there, I said it. If I give a shit.
You're not allowed to Vegas, Jeff. There's no way you can fly into Vegas.
But I'm sick of these fucking talking heads that don't know shit about sports, and all of a sudden now they're sports experts about betting when boxing fights come around. They all of a sudden know who's a good fighter and who's not. If you don't know boxing, don't talk about it. Stop. It's like,
why is everybody talking about a shoebox bet, a security deposit bet? You know what the best part about that is? I do like real money out there. And I'm talking like people that have a lot of money that can afford to go out and drop $1 million on the fight. A, they're not sweating the fight. And B, it's probably the right move to do it. But the more people, the best people I like, Jeff, are the ones that say, oh my God, Floyd Mayweather is the best bet that I've ever seen. They're like, well, how much money you have on it? I put down like 600. What's the point? What are we talking about then?
Right. And it's like, I mean, every time some big thing comes around, whether it's the fight or whether it's this or whether it's that, everyone knows exactly what they're talking about. Everyone knows about boxing all of a sudden. They're boxing experts. They don't talk about boxing all year on a show or podcast. Then all of a sudden, there's a big fight coming around. We have to dedicate an hour to it. I don't talk about golf because I don't like it and I don't play it and I don't know anything about it. I don't talk about car mechanics because I don't know anything about it, and I don't claim to know anything about it.
Yeah, and I said, Tribe Man says 600 is a lot for the poor man. I was just using that as a facility.
Don't gamble. You shouldn't be gambling.
Have money, you know what I mean? Because again, that's why there's so much action on McGregor. Because the common person like me, hey, I think McGregor's going to win. I would rather throw 100 on McGregor than 100 on Floyd because the return is not even to me at that level. Now, if you're betting $1 million and your return is going to be a couple $100,000, yes, then that's worth it. But the average man who's struggling to pay his bills saying, no, this fight's a lock, let me put $1,000 down. Boy, that hurts a lot more if you lost that $1,000 than if you won a couple $100.
Right. BMOC, after Mayweather retires, who do you think becomes the face of boxing? There's a lot of great fighters right now. Gennady Golovkin, Vasyl Lomachenko, Canelo's still very good. Terrence Crawford, Andre Ward. And that's why I think about boxing. A lot of people say it's dead. It's not, it's not coming back. But even Donnie made it clear. Heavyweights are coming back. You're seeing a lot of good heavyweights now with Anthony Joshua. Tyson Fury's been away. He'll be coming back. The Klitschko's have moved on. It's a new day. Welterweights are huge right now. Some of the welterweights right now are fantastic. There's going to be some great fights coming up. And that's why, for me, it's hard to think that Floyd going away, that doesn't mean much. Floyd's still going to be very involved. He's still going to have his fighters involved. Gervonta's coming up, his prodigy. So, again, there's a lot of good things coming up. You're still going to have the theatrics. I really believe that Paulie will fight Conor at some point just to get a quick payday, and people will buy it just like they're buying this one. There's a lot of good stuff coming up, and I'm looking forward to it. So I think there's going to be a lot of faces, but I think the big face, if Gennady Golovkin continues to win, he is the face. But there's a lot of really good fighters out there that people want to see.
Fight game's going to be a lot of fun, and again, tomorrow is going to be involved in that. Next month, man, you talk about, I guess I'm assuming, obviously, that fight's going to be on a Saturday night in September. You're going to have a full football card followed by Triple G. I mean, that's what you look forward to. And then you have Sunday morning, you're going to get kicking off in the NFL. Great time of the year. I'm glad they staged these fights for this time of the year and just, really ramped it up on a fun weekend, man.
Yeah, no, it's boxing. It's going to be fun, man. It's, it's interesting because, like, it's real weird, but, like, seems like everything is kind of not trying to get in the way of this fight. Like Power, season finale, should be on tomorrow night and Sunday, but they're pushing it back a week. So it's like, seems like everything's being affected by this fight. And, even the college football, it's over, it'll be over by then. This is center stage. It'll be fun.
Yeah, no, we'll, couple baseball games we'll get to here. We'll just try to stem it down the list. We
Triple
probably
G at 160 is not a steal. Triple G at 160 is not a steal. I like Canelo in that fight, to be honest, but we'll get into that closer to the time.
Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, Jeff. Ivan Nova versus Stevenson today, 66% back in the road team here with Pittsburgh. Nice reverse action, if you'd like to take a look at that. Opened up minus 115 in the favor of Cincinnati, has quickly reversed that Chris to minus 121, Pinnacle minus 125, BetOnline minus 125 in the favorite role now on the road team, Pittsburgh Pirates and Ivan Nova. Nova's road starts, Jeff, 4.52 ERA through 14 games. Last 3 starts combined, a 5 ERA. So obviously all that good, mojo that he had working early in the season has taken a step back. But hell, let's back Stevenson tonight. His only home start was an 8.44 ERA. If we take a look at over his past couple starts versus Atlanta, 5 innings, 1 earned run versus Pittsburgh, 5 2/3, 1 earned run. And with Miami, 4 innings and 3 earned runs. Kid does walk a lot of batters. The one game I did see him with O'Grady, where he had the 7 walks in under 5 innings. So he does have a little bit of a control problem. But if you're looking at this line just the way it is, Ivan Nova with 66% of the public backing him here, the line going in his direction. Obviously a better pitcher overall. But can Pittsburgh get any hits? That's the issue you're going to have with the Pirates tonight.
Yeah, I think this one's really about the potential that I think the pitchers have. I don't think Robert Stevenson has anything. I have seen Nova pitch well. He's regressed, though. I mean, he hasn't been the same pitcher that he was in the first half of the year. He's gotten blown up a couple times. But, overall, I think he's a guy that I'm looking to back. I don't think the Reds are really a team you can ever look to. They have a pretty good offense, but their pitching just blows every fucking night, and they blow games like candy. Is there any team that's played more leads than them? It's hard to imagine that there are. Yeah, at this price, I think the Pirates are a good play. I think the line makes sense. I just don't think the Pirates are that special. I won't be betting on it, but if I had to play it, I would go with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Canelo's going to win. Okay, very good. I agree. Are you on any soccer today? Probably not. There's not much going on. Big card tomorrow, so I'll focus on that. And again, unless Premier League's going on, I don't really want to get involved with it. Or Champions League. Those 2 leagues I've crushed. Every other league I've not done very well in. So I'll wait for that. Jim Jones is strikingly familiar to someone that we don't want in this chat. He's saying a lot of the same things that that guy.
What are we saying? Give me some thoughts.
Well, he's made the same comment that our friend that we blocked a while ago said. Our friend said that Cleveland owns left-handed pitching. He said the same thing on the earlier show with Peter. So Jim Jones, I think you're in here I think you're being a lurker. I think you're.
Jeff, were you lurking on the morning show as well?
I was in there for a couple minutes, yeah, because I let Matt know about our show, and we were, they were talking a little college football, so I joined. Yeah, I have it on here because I'm doing the work, and Jim Jones, yeah, we know who you are, Jim. You don't have to, I'm gonna say it now. Keep my fucking name out of your mouth. You won't hear from me, okay? I don't have any. You want to come in here and talk sports? Do what you want. I'm not gonna block you, but keep my name out of your mouth, bro. That's all I'm going to say. Don't go on other shows and talk about me. Just end it. Move on. You don't like me. I don't like you. But we can cap games. We can do our thing. You do your thing. I'll do mine. I'm too old to talk about people anymore. So I'm not going to block you. I'm not going to waste time doing that anymore. Just keep my name out of your mouth, and I'll do the same.
By the way, Jeff, we do have to alert the listeners next week. Sort of a little bon voyage sailing off into the sunset with the late night on campus. It will be our last week of late night on campus next week. So we're going to have some fun Monday through Friday. Welcomed you into our places over the past, 6-7 months.
Donnie, I'm not sure that was something you should have said, but.
Why not?
Well, I think we're trying to because no one will listen next week.
Everybody's going to listen next week.
Yeah. By the way, okay. Well, now that Donnie's broken the bubble, we'll guess we'll go into it. Listen, we're not ending the show completely. We're just putting it on hold through football season. Fortunately, due to some of the other shows we're doing, there's just not the time for it. We'll get back to it with basketball. There'll be a lot more going on at night and that kind of thing. We love doing the late night. It was something we kind of created. It's for me, it's bittersweet. I love doing the late night on campus. It's kind of part of my routine now at 10 o'clock every night and doing it. So it sucks. I mean, I'll miss doing it, but I'm hoping we get back to it like a little bit later, like back when basketball starts. When basketball starts, it'll be fun because we have games going on the West Coast. You have games, and it's all week. So there's a lot more need for the late night on campus. During football season, it's a little tougher because very early there's nothing going on at night. And yeah, I mean, we're going to be back with it, though. It's not something we're going away with, but I'll miss doing it for sure. It is something that, Donnie, we created kind of. So it's
it's good. And a lot of people say, well, why would you be doing that? I mean, the stuff that we're going to be doing through fall is going to be crazy. I mean, obviously going to be starting out with, we're going to have the right side of campus Monday through Friday now. That's going to run 5 days a week. I also have another show that's going to be going from 6 to 7 p.m., going right up till game time, Monday through Friday as well. There'd just be no way to prepare, prep, and give the best show you can possibly give if me and the big men are doing literally like 5 shows a day. And then also we're going to have update shows that are come throughout the day. You're also going to see me during the day with live breaking news type information. So there's a lot of stuff going on. You're actually, with a show going out at night, Jeff, you're actually going to see more in me and Jeff, even though we don't even have that show slotted for us. So get ready.
Big Man on Campus was examining the chat box. You can't get nothing past BMOC. No, you can't. I'm like a pit bull. I see everything. You can't get anything past me. Sorry. I hope your new show's earlier. The late show's 3 a.m. for me and impossible to watch. And again, I also do soccer with SBR. So there's a lot going on. We'll be around plenty. I believe they have some new choices late at night. And look, again, I mean, I love doing the late night. It's just we have a lot going on, and we're doing some other things. So.
QQQ says they got more shows than Steve Harvey. That's actually a pretty good one right there.
I bet BMOC versus Tho Marino would bring in good money. We can fight whenever he wants. I'm open to that. Wherever, whenever, I'll be there with bells on. You come to my house right now, bro. I'll give you the address. You can film it. We can do whatever. If you want to sanction that with the New Jersey State Athletic Commission, feel free to do it.
We could reopen the Revel, Jeff, with the amount of revenue we can get from that.
I would do it. I would do it tonight. I have no problem with that. We could sell tickets and give it to charity. That would be fun, right? But yeah, I mean, whenever he wants to do it, we can do it and have fun with it. So I'm down. Maybe get some sponsors.
We'll peel through and get another quick baseball game in here, Jeff. 9:57, 9:58. San Diego, Miami, Travis Wood and Connolly. The battle of two lefties on the mound. 29% are backing the road team here, Padres, after a huge underdog winner last night. 72% of the money actually coming in on the Padres here. Take a look at the line itself, Jeff. Open up at Chris at -155. People aren't believing, I guess, that San Diego can hold this another night. 170 at Chris, 161 at Pinnacle, 161 at Bet Online, 159 at UWager. So still a strong home favorite here for Miami, as well as getting the public support at 71%. Travis Wood's road starts, 2 of them this year, an 8.10 ERA. The only funny question in here is that you look at Travis Wood, Jeff, how the hell did he pitch against Washington? He goes 7 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hit baseball. Do you think that's going to continue down with a much, much better hitting environment? Actually, I should say hitting environment, much better hitting lineup in the Miami Marlins, who absolutely crushed the baseball over this past weekend against the Phillies. We'll see if that continues at home. Connolly at home, Jeff, through 6 starts on the season, a 7.47 ERA. So what you're telling me is you're going to lay a guy who pitches almost to an 8 ERA at home and a guy who pitches on the road at an 8 ERA. Good luck with that one, but there's a heavy decided advantage here at -170 for the hometown Marlins.
Yeah, the Marlins are definitely getting a ton of money here, and for good reason. I mean, San Diego's got nothing to play for. Marlins are, I guess they think they have something to play for. Look, I mean, their lineup's good. I trust them, but again, it seems like whenever I trust their lineup, they don't do anything good or positive. San Diego's hitting .219 this year against lefties. I mean, definitely the worst in baseball. They're only hitting .235 on the road. Travis Wood, I just can't bring myself to bet on Travis Wood. The money's going the right way here. For me, I would lean with with the Marlins. But again, I don't bet numbers this high, and I won't bet it.
Another interesting one, Jeff. 959, 960, Colorado and Atlanta here. Bettis and Teheran on the mound. 71% are going to back the road team here, Colorado Rockies, despite their recent struggles. And 73% of the money is actually on Colorado as well. Opened up as a minus 115 at Chris, Jeff. Has swung back to a minus 111 in the favorite of Atlanta now. Pinnacle, minus 119 Atlanta. Bet Online, minus 116 Atlanta. So a nice reverse line movement if you want to take a look at that. Bettis, who's been very good at home in Colorado through 2 starts, a 1.93 ERA. We all know the struggles that Teheran has had at home. He's 1-9, Jeff, in his 13 starts at home. If we take a look at his last outing at home, still not very good. 6 innings, 8 earned runs, 6 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. What are you going to get out of this kid? I mean, he had a shutout at Colorado. So you say, hey, he pitches well versus Colorado, 7 innings, 0 hit ball. Before that, 5 earned runs, 3 earned runs, 8 earned runs, 4 earned runs. The money ripping back reverse going towards the Braves here, Jeff, sort of has my eye on this one.
Yeah. What do you have the line at now, Donnie?
I have as a favorite Atlanta, 111, 119, 116, and 116.
I think that's sharp money betting Atlanta. They don't seem to like Bettis. They bet against him the first game. He came back and he threw a gem. It's sharp money for sure betting Atlanta here. But I got to disagree. I mean, they've been wrong lately, a lot of sharp bettors. I mean, there's been a lot. They were on Asher Wojciechowski the other night. I mean, how'd that work out? I mean,
yeah, I was on that game. I had a 1-1 split in my dogs. I couldn't have been more off on that Cincinnati game. They got waxed.
And you have to look at kind of some of the particulars. I mean, you mentioned it. Teheran at home. I mean, I think people have been waiting for him to pitch well, and he just hasn't. And the problem you have with Teheran is we've talked about it before. Don't have a bullpen behind him. He could pitch well and they'll give it up, or the defensive mistakes they have, or the light hitting 7 to 9 batters and need a big hit, they can't get it. Colorado's won 14 of 18 against Atlanta. Bettis is pitching well. He's one of those guys that we have to kind of forget what's happened in baseball and just kind of look at the future and say, he's kind of on a high right now, and it's impressive. So for me, I can't look any other way but Colorado here.
No, I hear you on that one. I mean, just the money itself, but again, that hasn't been the crashing lines. I think it was Sosana on Twitter actually sent me a tweet there on those line reverse moves that have like 30, 40, 50 cents in the last 8 of them. They're like 1 in 7 overall, which always brings me back to you can't just line chase. Do you want to beat the line? Absolutely. Do you want to get in a good number? Do you want to see why the line's moving? But again, it doesn't always work to just go after and say, boy, that line dropped a ton. That must be the right play, because again, they still have to win the ball game. It's not won on an actual computer. So another one of those games like this one here that you say, maybe you try to find some ulterior motives. Maybe, Nolan Arenado doesn't play. Maybe, a nice lineup out there for the Atlanta Braves, but something to dig into, because if somebody is a favorite now as Teheran, if you said, just a normal better, it's like, hey, he's pitched 13 times at home and won 1 game. You're like, how the hell is he a favorite? Exactly, right?
Yeah, and he's kind of pitching on emotion right now. He's pitching on kind of the stuff that he went through, and he's got a pretty good lineup behind him, an improved bullpen. I'm not really one of these people that kind of goes off emotion, momentum, but I mean the kid's kind of pitching with a lot of that right now, and against the guy in Teheran who's just made it clear he's not good at home. I don't really want to get involved. I think this is a nice little price in Colorado here.
Yeah, no, interesting. We'll take a couple shots down here to try to get some interesting matchups here, Jeff. Let's go to Seattle and the New York Yankees. 965, 966. 2 lefties on the mound, Miranda and Sabathia. I ripped Sabathia repeatedly last week, so what did he do? Come out and pitch a really good effort. Maybe if I rip him again tonight, he'll do the same thing. If we take a look at some numbers here, Jeff, Seattle, 27% backing on the road here. Obviously, 73% backing the home team here. New York Yankees opened up as a 150 favorite, Jeff. Money coming in on Sabathia, moving in the right direction up to 162, 155 at Pinnacle, 158 at Bet Online. Some particulars in this ball game. I mean, hey, CC's at home through 8 starts on the season, a hefty 5.68 ERA. Last 3 starts combined, even though he did have a decent outing last time, a 6 ERA. But Miranda, not much better, Jeff. 13 road starts, which is a pretty good look into what he does. 6.19 ERA, even worse over his last 3, close to an 8 ERA. If you're looking at this game and just going for maybe a square-type shot, to me, Jeff, would you just take a flyer on the over 9.5 in that tiny Little League ballpark up in the Bronx?
Yeah, I mean, because CC's been amazing against Seattle in his career. 28 starts, 2.63 ERA. Miranda, I have no interest in betting him against him on the road, or on him on the road. He's been just a total mess. 35 and 22 at home for the Yankees this year. It's definitely a price that I'm not looking to get involved with. But New York is obviously, they need to win. Same as Seattle. I just think Sabathia. I know you're not a big fan of Sabathia, but look, he's been overall very good this year, and his numbers against the Mariners have equated to good success. So for me, I would lean Yankees here. It's hard to not back them. I don't want to get involved with Miranda right now. Where are we going here? Jim Jones, BMOC's Capper Tech has you at 40% in college football. I gave you the same odds against. Okay. Well,
you
again,
documented out there.
Yeah, I was. I had Capper Tech for like 4 weeks, and then I switched to Watchdog. So Jim Jones obviously has nothing better to do. He's in here probably at like 10 o'clock on the West Coast. His kids are crying because they want breakfast. They got to get to school, and he's actually sitting on here deserting his kids to bother us all day. Now, these are guys that claim they don't listen to the show and they don't care, and they're only on here for 30 minutes, and they actually have a real job and their real life to get to, but they're always on here bothering us. So which is it? Do you really care about your kids in your life, or do you care about us more? I'm going to go ahead and say that you care.
If you really keep this up, somebody's going to buy dislikes on us, man.
Good. Keep it up. I hope you do. Because as much as you continue to troll me, as much as you continue to break my balls on here, I don't go away. So you might as well just get to your kids, make sure they have a quality life, and you again, you deal with them, because it's just something that you got to stop deserting your kids. I mean, someone should call CDS on you, because you need to stop worrying about what I'm doing, because I don't have any kids. I don't have any wife. I don't have anybody nagging me. I do what the fuck I want. Someone asked earlier, do I make a living off betting? I make a living off the betting business. I have to be careful what I say, because then people come out of work. Donnie, do you make a living off betting? No, you make a living off betting business.
I am a huge bookmaker, so that's how I make my money.
And I actually sell crack. That's actually how I get by. We've all figured it out. I'm a high-level drug dealer. That's kind of what I do to make my living. This is actually my house. I bought it. My parents just come here and stay for 2 days. So, we're having fun. So we have to break up the monotony a little bit, don't we, Donnie?
Yes. I mean, by the way, chances are if you're betting on a website, an offshore type website, not like Five Dimes, BetOnline, or any of those, but just like a local offshore, it's probably mine, I would like to say.
Right. And then, it's funny, Donnie, because then these guys come in and say, I don't want you to go away. I have nothing against you. But every comment out of your mouth is BMOC sucks or this or that. Like, dude, you love my cock. Like, you love it. You love me. Like, everything I do, you're all about. You love me. It's you. By the way, Donnie, you skipped a couple games. I forgot.
I did that on purpose because I'm hoping to just get through these last 1 or 2 games here.
Parlaying the drugs into parlays. I like the move, BMOC. That's a long-term future bet.
Yeah, like if you're dealing on the side, Jeff, you sell a little weed, and then you give them like a parlay action play, and that gives them, and if they bet it, they have more money to buy more product from you. Correct? Win-win.
Correct.
Yeah, there we go.
That's funny. It's interesting because Donnie actually is the real Walter White. They actually made that show Breaking Bad about Donnie. Indian Cowboy's in here. What's up, Indian Cowboy?
Is it the Jeff? Rip them if it's not the real one.
No, it's the real Indian Cowboy.
I usually like to rip people the first time I see him.
Indian Cowboy and I DM a lot. We talk on Twitter a lot. Indian Cowboy. I'd be interested to get you on the show at some point. Whenever you're interested in coming on, we'd love to chat with you, see what you're up to. But yeah, you know what? I don't think my life's better than anyone else's. I just try to do what I enjoy doing, and the rest works itself out.
Yeah, by the way, Jeff taught me the one interesting technique, which I had to thank him for, is burying PVC pipe to hide your money in the backyard. So fantastic, Jeff. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I've also taken up – I just bury my money in certain areas, and when the cops come to get me, I'll just say, you ain't never going to find my money. So, yeah, no, it's you got to come up with funny ways, because make sure you also bury it, Donnie, in the right bag, because
you don't want to forget where you buried it. Like, Jeff, I mean, I don't recommend putting it in like the duck food or the duck seed, so don't do that.
Yeah, because your wife might steal it. So don't, and also make sure it's the right bag because it can disintegrate. To make sure you remember that, and don't be like Eddie in Vegas Vacation. He didn't know where his money was. He's digging in the desert, and or like Junior Soprano in Sopranos when remember he forgot where his money was.
Yes, Jeff. By the way, I think me and you should go in 50-50 on like a bodega somewhere in the city? What do you think about it?
Dude, I would love to do that. There's actually a place in Ocean City that I go to on a regular basis every day. It's called Baronado's. It's a corner deli, and I know the owner. I've known him since I was a kid, and I've been asking him to sell me this place forever. Like, it's such a fucking gold mine, Donnie. It's like the only one in the North End.
What is it? Say it again. What is it?
It's called Baronado's. It's a hoagie shop. They have little groceries.
What road's it off? Asbury or where's it?
It's on First and Atlantic.
Oh, gotcha.
And it's just a gold mine. I mean, there's no other place like it on the North End. It's the only place. They're selling hoagies in there, Donnie, for $19. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like large hoagie. It's amazing. It'd be a perfect spot to have. You work all summer, don't work in winter. Do this in the winter.
Yeah,
perfect. I told them they asked $1 million, and I said, "Well, I'll try to come up with it." But
we'll try to come up with that cash.
I would love to do a bodega. I told them, I said, "You just got to get a betting machine in here." Perfect. But
somebody asked on the chat box here. Let's hit one last game here for him. We'll go Nick Martinez going versus Kendall Graveman. That will be Oakland versus the Texas Rangers, who somehow the Texas Rangers have a great pitching staff all of a sudden, only when I go against them on a team total. Jeff, 54% of the money coming in on the road team here, the Texas Rangers. However, 123 favorite opened up for Oakland, Jeff. We're now up to a 131 at Chris, 125 at Pinnacle, 124 at Bet Online. So an interesting break here, almost a 50-50 split in tickets, but still that home team showing some love here. If you take a look at some of the numbers, Graveman at home, Jeff, through 6 starts this year, he's actually 2-0 with a 2.97 ERA, 3.44 overall. Nick Martinez has struggled 7 starts on the road, Jeff, a 6.19 ERA. If we take a look at his last 2 games, which obviously he had the long layoff there. Seattle, 5 1/3, 7 earned runs. At Minnesota, Jeff, 4 innings, 5 earned runs. Looks like an okay spot here to bet Oakland at home as an actual favorite here.
Yeah, I would take them first 5 probably. I mean, I don't want to get involved with that bullpen, but yeah, I mean, Nick Martinez is a mess. I don't like Texas on the road offensively. They're only hitting 221 on the road this year. I'm just not good enough. Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's worth a look here, Graveman. He's been overall pretty decent. Couple of the other games, just quickly. I do like the Dodgers today. Donnie, Dodgers are 51-14 at home this year.
I mean, there's nothing to it. I tried to take some spots again. I lost just about every damn time I bet against them. Even though if I think I'm getting value, it turns out that the solo home run ability by the Dodgers, Jeff, is off the charts.
It was funny. I actually noticed something today, Donnie. I guess one of your customers, I think, he said to you, "When are we going to stop betting against?"
Yeah, last night, and I said, "Till we win." It's like a vendetta now.
I get a kick out of that because it was like, you know what? I mean, for as funny as that is, he is right. I mean, it's like you try to bet against him, and I did it. We did it on Monday, I think it was. First day I came down here, and it was like,
I can't. Again, the game I don't bet, they win. The game I bet full game, they win first 5. The game I bet full game, they win, they lose. I mean, it's just the interestingness to the Pirates season on my bankroll should be on my gravestone this year. But again, if I see what I perceive as value, I still end up taking the game. I just see it doesn't seem to work out well with the Dodgers, man. They're beating me up.
Yeah, we got people here talking about loans here on the chat box. I know plenty of guys give out loans if you're interested. You charge you 30%, but
you'll get the cash.
Yeah. It's better than nothing. Yeah, you'll definitely get the cash. I mean, you'll get it in without no questions asked. I don't know if they give you $1 million, but you get a $5K probably. Yeah. It's a good spot to roll with the Brewers plus 171. I don't think. I mean, why would you bet against a team that's 51-14 at home? By the way, 37 of those 51 wins have come by 2 or more runs, 73% of the time. So, and opponents are hitting 213 in LA Dodger Stadium this year. So, again, why do it? Why get involved with it? One more, Donnie, before we go. I do like the Diamondbacks tonight at home. They've been a really good home team. 39-23 this year, a 272 average at home, 5.5 runs a game. Home is where the heart is for Arizona. They're just a way better home team than a road team. They hit. They do a lot of good things at home. Greinke's been fantastic, 2.34 ERA in his home starts. And if you look at Blatch on the road, he's been really poor in his last 2 starts. Ty Blatch has really come back to earth. 11 and a third, 12 earned runs, 17 hits, and 3 home runs. For me, I have to go with the Diamondbacks -1.5 here. San Francisco has been playing better, but I think this is a game where they get fucking trashed in. I think it's 7-2, something like that. I think Greinke pitches well here. He's been also very good in his career against the San Francisco Giants. So, I've heard that there's a little rift between Loose Cunt and Peter Loshak. I guess they have some back and forth problems. At any rate, there's always going to be problems in everything. I mean, there's always an argument, always.
No, there is, but that's about it for the baseball card today on this. I'm excited for the weekend, Jeff. Not going to lie. I mean, I actually had a weekend off. If you want to prep for next week and what we're actually looking to do, Jeff, obviously there's no NFL, so I won't be on Sunday. You and Pete are going to handle Saturday. Got the nice day off there. Can relax, chill, sit around, wait for the fight. Then on Monday, I'll actually still be at the Shore. So Jeff's going to hold it down with Drew for the first installment of the fall right side of campus on Monday. But I'll be back, obviously, at night on Monday to do the late night at campus. And then Tuesday, I'll be back in my normal role. And then we'll just be off and running for the rest of the fall, Jeff. So I'm excited, man. I think we built a pretty good product. Me and you, our brand's going to stay the same. We're just going to bring it during football season, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And just to confirm, next Monday we will start the right side of campus every day at 12:30. First show is going to be me and Drew. Drew will be filling in for Donnie Rightside. Nothing compares to the BMOC rift, though. Yeah, look, I don't have a rift. There's no rift. I'm on here doing something professional. Someone comes on and hates me. I can't. I'm moving on from it. Finally, I'm done with it. Let's stop talking about it. Stop bringing him up, and he'll stop bringing me up, I'm sure. But yes, tomorrow we'll be on live at 11 a.m. So again, no 12:30 show. We're on at 11 o'clock Eastern.
Awesome.
Me and Peter Loshak.
So, yeah, by the way, what's that first kickoff for NCAA? What's the first game tomorrow?
The first game tomorrow is, I believe, let me see here. I don't even know offhand.
12 o'clock. So good. Yep, perfect. Little Portland
perfect.
State action, Jeff. -33 at Bet Online.
Yeah, against BYU, which I'll be looking into. For sure. That game's right in my wheelhouse, bro. So I'll be definitely looking forward to that game. As far as the line, though, I have to go to 5 times to find it. By the way, Donnie, I want to point this out. Little teaser. Not teaser bet-wise, but a little teaser to next week's shows. I'm going to be looking at the James Madison Dukes against I'm losing it here. Drew and I were talking about it. They play a Division I opponent week 1, and the spread's actually really nice. I'm going to look at – I forget who they're playing. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I'm looking at James Madison this year, Donnie, in any Division I games that they play.
By the way, don't the Eagles – is the Eagles one of those little kick returners from James Madison? Number 4 for the Eagles. I thought he might have been a wideout at James Madison, I heard.
I'm not sure. Yeah. You might be right. But they play East Carolina week 1, and I'm really low on East Carolina this year. I mean, James Madison's a really good football team. They're probably the second best team in FCS. So I'm going to be looking at them week 1 against East Carolina. Again, as far as any
out there says a CFL pick. Yes, I'm going to go with the Argonauts this weekend. That's my play.
Yeah, I don't even know anything about the CFL. BMOC, when are you back in Lancaster? Not sure yet. Anything on Rice? I'll talk about Rice tomorrow on the show. Who's the worst, Stu Feiner, Tony George, Dave Winsey, or Steve Stevens? I don't know. Stu Feiner's pretty bad. Stu Feiner's entertaining, though. Vegas Dave. Look, I'm not going to knock Vegas Dave. I mean, he won Futures. Good for him. Steve Stevens has
I haven't heard much from Steve. He's still kicking it around, right?
Well, that's the thing. You don't hear much about him because he's a nobody. He just made it out to act like he was. Yeah. He paid them for a show. I think the Tony George shouldn't be on that list. I don't think. Tony's been on SBR. I've always liked his videos. Stu Feiner is probably the worst out of all those. But, I mean, Stu Feiner is just like, winner, 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 winner. You know, he's what's ruined this business, the tout business. We have to all explain
didn't he used to have a couple plays on his website that were like $250,000 to buy?
Yeah, yeah, and that's we have to all explain ourselves now because of Stu Feiner and people like him. You know, I think like Stanford Steve and the Bear, I think they're pretty bad. I mean, they're not touts, but I think they're really bad. All these guys on ESPN that talk about sports betting, they don't have any idea what they're talking about. But yeah, Wager Talk, pregame, all those guys, that wouldn't be nowhere near them.
All right, man. Any other thoughts before we get on out of here for the weekend?
No, that's going to be it. Looking forward to football tomorrow. We got the fight as well, and I'm sure Peter and I will talk about it all. Donnie, good to chat with you today. We'll be back tonight, Joe Duffy and I, with the Late Night on Campus. You know, we'll chat a little bit. We're working possibly on getting someone to talk about the fight on the show tonight. Someone
not traveling. Make sure they're not traveling on you, though.
No, it's not going to be him. But Donnie, enjoy your trip to the shore. I have Gabe Morency's show I got to do. I know you've been on that show as well. So a lot for me to do here. I got to go, Donnie. You have a great night. Enjoy your trip to the shore.